What does an argument mean? Can an argument be, you're mean, am not, are too, am not, are too? For the sake of argumentative writing, that would be considered a disagreement, and not an argument. So you may be wondering, what is an argument then, Miss Lewis? Let me explain. An argument is considered in writing something that can be backed with factual information as support. This is also referred to as evidence. In argumentative writing, you will need a main claim. You will need to propose an idea and then back that proposal with information from legitimate sources. Ads are created with a proposed argument behind the picture shown. What is the following ad proposing? What about this ad? A thesis in an argumentative paper is your proposed argument. An example would be, legalizing physician-assisted suicide is the morally correct decision. After figuring out the proposed main claim, legitimate sources need to be obtained in order to back your proposal on why your stance on an issue is the correct stance. This can be done by scholar websites and through books in the library, including journal articles. Wikipedia is not acceptable as a source, ever. Ever, ever, ever. In order to have a persuasive argument, a writer must cover rebuttals. What is a rebuttal? A rebuttal is an oppositional viewpoint. This means that it's a viewpoint that will be covered by a critic who doesn't share the same feelings on the argument that you do. When covering rebuttals, it is important to empathize with the reasoning behind the critic, but also then you have to refute the rebuttal with additional information. It's important not to offend opposing viewpoints. If you dismiss their belief without any merit, it will stop the person from continuing reading your argument. You don't want a reader to stop reading your argument because the whole point in arguing a viewpoint is to hopefully persuade someone to see your proposed argument as the truth. It's also important to have topic sentences. Topic sentences introduce what is going to be discussed in the following paragraph. This helps with the flow of the overall paper. Another key aspect is to keep an argumentative tone throughout the entire paper. Tone is the voice of the writer. A main issue with argumentative writing is that the paper starts to take on an informative tone and not an argumentative tone. When discussing your evidence and backing, remember to interact with it as a writer. This will help keep the tone argumentative. In order to keep your paper from being dry or boring, pick a topic that you have a self-stake in, meaning something that interests you for whatever reason. There are 3 different aspects that you must be aware of when dealing with argumentative writing. They include 3 terms: pathos, ethos, and logos. Logos is the logical aspect of the paper. Logos stands for the use of reason. Pathos is the emotional appeal of the paper. This is where you play on the reader's emotions within a topic. Ethos stands for the credibility of the paper. This is the part that questions the convincing aspect of the essay. Were you convincing as an author? The closing is the last part of the argumentative paper. This needs to wrap up clearly, and the conclusion needs to refer back to the proposed argument. A conclusion should be done cleverly, without explicitly stating "in conclusion." The reader should know that you are wrapping up the paper without that statement. Now let's get started and change classmates' minds on topics that we find interesting and controversial.